What's up, y'all? Jey here.
And I'm Meka.
This is our channel. So we are doing pretty much the finale to Love After.
Yeah. No, Love is Blind. We do a lot of shows, y'all.
Correction. So we are doing the finale and the penultimate finale to Love is Blind Season 9.
Penultimate.
Penultimate, yes.
That sounds like just sound extra.
Let's not obfuscate this whole thing here. All right, so we are doing the penultimate and the finale to Love is Blind Season 9. We're going to kind of mix it all together. We're just going to talk about it,
Let's get
to it. So, you know what? We'll talk about what happened and what led to it.
Yeah.
So let's go with the first one. Which one do you want to go with?
Annie. Let's talk about Annie.
All right, so Nick
Annie
got Annie up out of here. He was tired of her shit.
Annie started her shit in Mexico. And as we stated in our previous video, we believe that Annie was under the influence of quite inebriated alcohol in Mexico. When she drinks, she tends to just say whatever is on her mind or not on her mind, and she just babbles and she's belligerent.
That's very easy when you just have a half a mind. This girl, she's problematic just in general. I feel,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she was like bugging.
She was doing the most. Like, I mean, they had a discussion. She would do these things like, she would keep continuously telling him that she loves him. And it just got to the point, it's like, do you not know the more you say that, the less meaning it has behind it? Like, you keep telling him you love him, but yet you keep effing up. So it's like, at what point is he going to believe you, And he's kind of telling her, like, I get it. But then she'll say, like, I love you so much. But then she'll go, but I don't need you. I don't need you in my life. But no, I don't think you understand. I don't need you in my life. And then it would just the conversation would always take a weird turn, leaving Nick very confused. And he's like, okay, I hear what you're saying. It's like, but how do you expect me to receive that information when you're telling me you don't even need me?
I don't think he was confused at all. I think he understood it from the jump, which is why.
Yeah, you think he was done with her in Mexico?
Yeah, he was
yeah.
And, I mean, you can do it. He can do what he do. She can do what she do. We said from the pods that she was, looking for somebody for a specific reason.
Yes.
So
she just wanted to be married. And yeah, so then they go back home and he talks to her in the apartment and tells her, hey, pretty much you can't do what you did in Mexico again. Like, that's just not going to work for me. And she's like, I know, I'm sorry. This and that. And then she picked another weird reason to do it right after she just said she gets what he's saying. And as she's talking, she's like, food is like falling out of her mouth and her eyes are rolling in the back of her head. Her hair looks like a freaking bird's nest, like as if it didn't already, but just even worse. Like, she just looks a hot mess. And he's just looking at her like, this is unreal.
I mean, I think men and women, they're confused.
Yeah.
When you're not in the space, you're not space. You're on a TV show, she's trying to do stuff because she's trying to gain some traction for it.
Right.
It just wasn't a fit. You know what I'm saying? And in the pods, that's why I went back to that. She was like, whoever asked her first. She wasn't in it for the right intentions.
She wasn't.
I mean, it's the same thing as, wasn't it Kelsey or Casey, whatever, who was with Patrick, same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is, you know what I'm saying, with them too. But
yeah.
They broke up.
Yeah,
and they told her, he was like, yo, are we done here? Like, I ain't got time for you. Me personally, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah,
so
it was.
It's cool.
And next to on business, he told her she did it again, that he was out of there, and she didn't believe him. And she told that man, no, we're walking down the aisle.
He said,
was a
no.
He was like, you can't make me do this. It's like,
which again shows her intention.
Yeah.
Further, she just wanted that moment. So
yeah,
that's then we had Joe and Madison.
Yeah, Joe and Madison. Madison is another one, and Joe is always, again, seems to be hitting that drink pretty heavy on the show. And Madison, again, she just gets mad about the dumbest things, and her communication is all out of whack and poor. And He basically ends up going to a tux fitting, and in the tux fitting, he freaks out, walks out the tux fitting. Simultaneously, Madison is doing her dress fitting, and it's polar opposite. She's having her moment. Her family's there. She's trying on her dress. She's happy. I'm getting married. Da, da, da. He's over there having a whole ass breakdown, and he just walks out. Like, he just walks out. He leaves his groom in there. He gets in his truck, and he bounces. Right? And so it turns out he tells her he can't do it. He meets up with her later on, I guess that evening, the way that they taped it or the way they showed it, and he tells her he can't do it. She is absolutely heartbroken. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know where it's coming from. Again, I kind of feel like the writing was on the wall with that one as well.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Not as much.
It was on the wall, but the thing is, like, a person, it depends, like, these people are in these quick situations. They're in a microwave type situation.
Yeah.
It's very hard to view something from somebody else's perspective when you have so many things. You're making very big, like, life decisions.
Right.
You have to think about yourself, and you're going to think about yourself more than another person that is... This season kind of shows a lot of that as we get into this recap a little bit more. I just think that you have people making very detrimental, impactful life decisions in such a short amount of time.
Short amount of time, yeah.
Even with the extended time and the outside of the pod, it takes a while. And it's not it's not something that's objective. It's a very, there's a lot of variance that comes with that time frame. So,
right.
Yeah, it's a wreck to it.
That's right. It's naive.
Has reason from the jump, so.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what happened on the two before this.
Can we talk about Anton and the sandwich that he was eating?
So I think he was eating that sandwich like that because he was uncomfortable. Yes, I think he was uncomfortable.
I was like, this man.
Either that or I'm gonna say this about Anton. I personally think that does Anton have a drinking issue? Possibly. Does he have a drinking problem? I don't necessarily think so. We've seen people on the show, and we've seen actions on the show when alcohol is induced or included to cause issues. I just think Anton has a drink when he does. Some people, it varies. You can handle it some ways, you can't. You give one person a cup of wine, they're lit, they're tore up. You give another person 7 shots, they might be tipsy, they can handle it. It depends. I think that scene with Anton, Allie, and Anton's mom, he was nervous because I think Allie was making him nervous because this was when they were trying to really figure out if they're going to do A's.
If they were going to work out or not.
And he has his mother there who is, as you're saying, so much to him. I think he was just nervous in that moment. You know what I mean? After they just had the whole issue about Allie making a big deal about his drink.
Right. And I think she was just looking for stuff because we're going to go ahead and sum them up. She seemed like she was just looking for something to have an issue with him with, whether it was the drinking, the job, the finances. To us, it appeared that
Allie thinks
she
she's
didn't feel
better
like he
than
made
she
enough
is.
money.
Allie thinks she's better than she is. Allie is a very attractive woman. No, she's pretty. There's a difference between being bad and being pretty. No.
But then
she had her stuff together. She had a career, all these other things.
Yeah.
When I say she thinks she's better than she is that she thinks that her station is higher than anybody else's.
You said his specifically. Though, right?
Because he is a truck driver. Because it's like, and that's how you kind of rob yourself of blessings or situations or whatever.
Right.
I feel like Allie feels that she needs to have a guy that's all about her. I say this happens. I say this happens. I say this happens. Anton kind of made it clear, like, I will, we can work together. We can compromise. I don't think she was willing to compromise.
No, I don't
Her
think
little raggedy ass friends made
it
clear that she was not willing to compromise.
I think she wanted him already ready to order, but
even ready to order, that still comes with bending the knee. It still comes with, hey, you can do this. You can be ready to order and be like, no, you're not doing that because you haven't prompted. That's what I got from her, and as I just said, her friends. And yes, I said her raggedy ass friends. Yes, I did. Because that
was later.
We're going to just sum them all up and just get out the way. I feel like they aided in that, but it is a show. I do believe that, they know what they're going to do a little bit at a time. But that does not lend to people actually trying to find love. Do I think they would have worked? No. If you
I think over time they wouldn't have worked. Yeah. Because again, I think she required more of him than he had at the moment. Not to say that he could never get to that level, because Anton, I wholeheartedly believe that he would have worked to get her what she wanted.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
I do too.
Which I feel like she should have found that enduring and appreciated that, but she wanted it now.
Her friends, because that's the same, pretty much the same thing you said. Like, now this is another. No. Anton would have done A, B, and C, I feel. And I feel of the two, Anton's 28. I think she was a couple of years younger than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some people just have this. And like I said, I feel like she felt like she was above Anton's station. I'm pretty sure Anton has pulled women that look like her.
I'm right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know what?
Yeah.
So be it. Bye-bye, Allie. Good luck with you and old girl sitting up to like, and she will pull somebody. Mm-hmm. She's attractive. By no means I'm saying she won't, but I'll say why I feel that at the end of this.
So we have Edmund and Kate.
Edmund and
our
Kate.
favorite. Okay. Kate done went off on this man on the
mountain. So hold on. So let me say something really quick. We're going to get to the mouth thing, but this is the finale we're talking about. And before she says it, I'm going to say it. I got a little teary-eyed when they walked down the aisle. One, because I wanted them to work, but I have daughters. So this was kind of sad. No, I didn't cry. I didn't cry at two separate
I had to be like, I was like, hey, you okay?
I'm fine. What you talking about?
A little tear in the corner.
Look, ceiling fan was running. That shit dusty. We don't clean that shit.
It was allergies, but no. So, man, so lead up, we all had an idea that this might not work out between KB and Edmund. And that's because I said this earlier in one of my posts earlier, Edmund is a special type of dude. Like, he does seem like he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a little sensitive. He has been through a lot in his life. And he's not afraid to let people know what he's been through, And I think KB was as gentle with him as she could be up until a point. And I've said this in several videos. I really feel like she really handled him softly for the most part until it reached the head where she was like, look, you playing in my face type thing. Because according to her, he was doing things behind the scenes that wasn't being shown to us.
Yes.
And by the time they would film, that's when she hot. You know what I mean? And she's mad. So hence why, like I said earlier, she almost threw him off the mountain. But she called him out of his name. She kind of stepped out of her character, as KB said. Like, she felt like she had really worked on herself and her temper, and she was really disappointed that she even went there with him. But yeah, I will not sit here and say that KB did not care about Edmund, because I really think she did. I think that she cared about him as much as she could for a person that she hadn't known for that long.
Yeah.
And again, I think she tried, but she knew that in her heart that probably wasn't going to be
Let me bring this up. Yes, she tried. But why did she try? As we said, we're doing the finale. So I feel like a lot of these couples, a lot of people on the show tried for notoriety. They tried for the experiences that they were going to get, being able to do certain things and whatnot. And, what people can spend stuff after they leave the show. I'm going to just be perfectly honest with it. And, there's people who were actually there. Nick, I respect. And there's another person we're going to talk about that I respect. This is why. They did not take that other person down that aisle. Joe, hey, I can't do this.
Yeah, there's two other people, actually, that you should say that about.
Well, one we're going to save to the end.
Yeah.
But who's the other one?
Megan.
That's the one we're going to say. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, not walking the person down the aisle, and going through this whole thing saying, like, I'm here for this. Let's just end it now.
Yeah, I think that's where KB kind of went wrong with that. A slight.
Yeah, because I think KB knew ahead of time she was not going to go. Nothing against her.
Yeah.
I think she did have feelings for him and stuff, but she knew she wasn't going to marry him. Let's be honest. She knew she wasn't going to marry him. But
that hurt, man. I can't even lie to you.
Well, side note, so before this finale, I seen, the show ended, they taped a long time ago. KB was doing the show on an interview on stage, tons of people there and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I watched some of it and nothing about Edmund. Obviously, they can't to the show, but like, those are the situations to where if you stick around long enough, that
you'll benefit from.
You'll benefit from.
But I do.
And I'm not saying she did that, but you don't know.
Mean, I'm not going to be mad at the girl for taking advantage of opportunities that are coming her way. I will say that I don't think that, and again, we don't know these people. We have to consider those things. And I do think that she was genuine in how she handled him.
Let me ask you a question.
But I don't think she should have did what she ended up doing.
And that's what I'm asking you. So you just said her line of work, the whole nine, and no disrespect to KB, nobody. Maybe him being on spectrum, or to hell with the spectrum, maybe him being or just trauma. Simple trauma.
Trauma.
Right? Okay. We all at certain points have trauma in our lives. So no disrespect. That's why I said no disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, her being in line of work, she should have been aware. And that's the only thing I said, like, if you knew that, hey, let me not do this. Let me not put him where there's trauma, being on the spectrum, possibly anything of those natures. If she has that education, if that's her career, she should know to be like, hey, I shouldn't do this. So yes, I will look at a certain one and be like, maybe you could have done it different, especially when we see other people who have situations happen in the show, in the season with them. I said, I'm going to just end this before.
Yeah. So we're going to stop there because we're going to cover all the wedding ones at one time. But right now, we are going to head for Jordan and Megan.
So, I don't like Megan.
Oh, no.
I don't care. I don't like
Oh, no.
And you got a little tidbit about Megan, but I don't like Megan. Jordan going into this. Jordan going into this was one, and Jordan seemed like a solid dude. Like,
Jordan, I like Jordan. I'm not going to lie.
Anything, like, he, out of everybody, Jordan was the most solid person to me.
I think the doubt started happening for Megan. I'm not even going to hold you. When she walked into that apartment, and it was like what do you call it?
She take my money.
Well, because she...
Oh, she's a trifling.
Because well, that would be she makes. Okay, hold on.
I'm a flip it both ways.
Okay, because I'm like she's
still a gold digger.
She's not a gold digger. She can't be a gold digger if she already made money.
She made money, but he has to have money to
effort. I love it.
And she does, but I'm gonna cancel that. She's not a gold digger. Hold on. Let me clarify, and I'm gonna let you go. She's not a gold digger, but. Obviously, that was part of it, which is understandable.
But she ain't messing with them.
I'm a spaz on her later, so go ahead.
Okay, so I think it started there. I think the reality also then started to hit after she met his son. Unfortunately, after she met his son, this is where I think she went wrong. Because I feel like if she had any doubts, because Jordan was clearly trying to be protective of his child, hence why he didn't want to film his son on camera meeting her. I feel like she should have been like, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
At that point before she met his son. Because I think she knew, come on, like, Megan traveled, she was talking about like going to Italy whenever, just getting on a flight, hopping a flight to Italy with her friends and, going on vacation, which is all great. Like, I mean, that's lovely. But she didn't take into account that Jordan has a co-parenting relationship with the mother of his child. It's a 50-50 type situation. The child is in school. This is not their child together. So it's not like Megan could be like, hey, let's all go on this trip together. They can't do that, right? So I think she really started to realize, like, wait, there might be some things that I'm not going to be able to do anymore that I love. Then she starts to kind of nitpick Jordan by saying, well, you're always tired. And sometimes I want to go out and get something to eat. You say you like fine restaurants, but we haven't gone anywhere. He has a child it's in school. He's been gone for 2 weeks or however long they're in the pods, right? He's been gone away from his child. He comes back. He now has responsibility. You know what I'm saying? When he was on vacation in Mexico, she was like, you're doing too much. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, he doesn't have his kid with him. He was like, I'm going to turn up, right? Have fun. That was too much for her. They get back to the house and he's not doing enough. And it's kind of like, okay, for her anyway. She's like, he's not doing enough. He's not going anywhere. He's not spontaneous.
Are we talking about, can we spin off with the wedding stuff and start with them so I can get...
Yeah, let's
all right, so I don't think that's what it was. I don't think that's what it was. This is what I think happened. I think her being around Jordan's son, I think she did like it. I think she didn't like that it was not her child. Because she said something very specific. She said she's so involved in herself. I think she would make all those sacrifices for her child. And I think him having a child, him having to share that child, and not being her not being able to make those certain decisions. So she said, I can't do this. I can do it if it's under my terms.
But she also said she's unsure if she's even capable. Remember she said that? She got all choked up and she was like, I'm not even sure if I would be a good mom.
Good mom. Hey.
Or did she need a good mom to...
What's your little tidbit?
So the rumors have been a-buzzing before the reunion comes out, and it turns out that Megan potentially has a baby daddy, which means she has a baby, which means that she got pregnant maybe a few months after taping or so. Somebody in the comments said that filming has been over for 24 months. That's what somebody said. So, I mean, when you think that, I mean, that's not
crazy.
That's not crazy.
It makes sense that she's with a dude that had the kid. Now she has it.
But it's her child. That's what I'm saying.
It's her.
That's what she said earlier.
That's honestly what I think is. I personally, because that, I think she would have been okay with other stuff. I think that was the thing. And she's a person who obviously... Yeah. Her saying my stuff is her having control over the situation. Obviously, she's a person who has controlled all of her situations to a certain extent. If she even said that, she bounces.
Yeah.
Her having a kid, a person like that may not be able to handle not having, being the third, maybe fourth or fifth person in line, depending on grandparents, 6, 7. When it comes to that, so
yeah. I mean, it's not easy, right? Like, and especially with her at that time not having children, she really didn't understand what that's like to be a parent, let alone a single parent. Like, she had no understanding of that, and nobody is expecting her to have understanding of that. But I do feel like she should have let him know earlier. What she did do is didn't make him walk down at all. Which I will give her a point for that. She let him know that she just was not going to be able to do it, that she did not think he was her person. Jordan was understandably hurt.
He was hurt as her, like,
he was
took
hurt.
Like a G. That's somebody you could tell had been through some stuff, because he was like, all right, I ain't gonna, like, he shed his tears, but he took like a G. Sitting there watching, I was like, damn. Because you could see he was like, all right, I'm going to be a man about this, which is wham. But you could tell he was hurt.
Yeah.
And you can also tell he was very apprehensive. I feel like him and Edmund seen the roadblocks in their situation and still tried to overcome it. But they could only do but so much, because it's a partnership. It's half and half.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can only give what a person will take. Or you can only take what a person will give. I feel like that was more Calabria, or KB, and then Jordan is what I feel.
Yeah.
So
I think it was telling, like, when the producers asked him, like, you know, what does he feel or whatever about the situation, he was like, I'm just mad that she met my kid, which is understandable. Yeah.
Because that's what he was trying to protect, and he gave her that, and he didn't have to. You know what I mean?
He did not have to. So that was that. They didn't make it down the aisle. So the next two couples that we have, we're going to go back to Evan and Calabria? Or
no, let's do Allie and Anton. Okay. Because I want to say a little something about it. So we'll go into it. So how did you feel about that?
I kind of had a feeling that the answer was going to be no on Allie's part, because it felt like she was looking for something. And then when they showed her, as you say, raggedy ass friend.
Raggedy.
But her friends came, Gino, they were like, you might not want to listen to us because we're both getting a divorce. They did say that to her.
The influence is out there, what you said to them.
But I do think that her friends were definitely a representation of who Allie is.
Yes.
Like, they are all one piece of the pie together, right? And so I just don't think it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked. I think Anton her expectations for him, for one, she would have stressed him out.
Yeah.
I think, and I told you I wasn't joking around, but even at one point, one of the scenes in one of the episodes, she was like, I like to get my nails done. And they were talking about separate bank accounts. And she was like, well, I want separate bank accounts. And he was like, well, I don't really agree with that. And he was like, well, if you can tell me why you would like a separate bank account. And she's like, I mean, maybe I just don't want you to know how often I get manicures, Like,
he wants control.
And I feel like, but yet she would want him to fund those manicures, right?
That's her wanting control. That's the whole station thing I was saying.
Yeah. So I feel like the one time she wouldn't be able to get her nails done, or she couldn't get her hair done, or highlights, or whatever the case, she would lose her shit. In other words, and they would constantly have arguments about finances. I just really think that's what it would be with them. So I didn't really see it working. I felt a little bit bad for Anton, but I think he knows. Like you said, he could get another girl that looks like Ellie, and possibly somebody that'll appreciate it.
That's more fitting for him. Yeah, I'm not worried about Anton at all.
Yeah,
honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's on show. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a little bit dumped on for certain things. And I think he'll be fine. So I'm not worried about Anton. So, I think he'll be good. And I'm very curious to see where he's at when they do this reunion, because if it has been 24 months, that'll be very telling.
Yeah, see, like, who all has new people and whatnot. So let's get to the bit.
So,
which is KB and...
Which we kind of touched on. Obviously, they did not get married either.
They did not. And...
There's a lot of stuff kind of telling about that.
He said some very nice things to her during his vows, as she did him too. Yes. She said some really nice things. He said he kept telling her he loved her at the altar. She kept saying she loved him back. She kept saying that to him. And he said that, yes, he wants to marry her. Gets to Calabria. Calabria is like, she can't do it. Mm-hmm. This man let out, I don't know if it was a yelp. It was just, you felt his pain.
You felt like in that moment. I think I told you in that moment when he was like, it was like, that was his hope. That was just left him. Like, and that was all that. He's like,
it was like he had a dream and somebody literally
took a dream from him.
Yeah, because I really think he loved her. I think he really, and he wanted to be a better man for her. I really think
I think she represented, I'm gonna just say, I think the premise of the show, what the show means, and her also, because I'm not taking things away from her, it represented what he was looking for. It represented, like I said, like his hope, his goal, and it just didn't work in that instant. Doesn't mean it won't, but that can be tough in that situation. You just kind of have to handle, especially if so when I heard that, I was like even, I was like, I really felt in that moment. I walked out the room because I was going to get some water.
but okay, and then like the next thing that happened that was even more heartbreaking was, so his mom wasn't at the ceremony, but his dad was there, and this lady that was a teacher of his, and I didn't gather what type of teacher she was for him, but she's a teacher that he had, and they're honestly very, very close. She walked him down the aisle. Yeah. So after all this happened, she goes and talks to him, and he is like, this is it for me. Like, there's nothing else. Like, I've tried everything. And she's just like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. There's somebody that's going to love you for you, that's going to appreciate you for you. And it was just really heartbreaking. I felt so bad for him because I think he really felt like this is it for him.
But,
he really felt that way. Because he always says that he's different, and he is different. And we're not going to sit here like, it will take a special type of person, not to say that they don't exist, because I'm pretty sure that they do for him, but it will take a special type of woman to be able to appreciate him for who he is and love who he is as he is, right? Like, so
I just think this wasn't the setting.
I don't think it was either, and shame on the show, okay? Because I just feel like, and then let's go back to Calabria, how you felt like maybe she should, for that reason, she shouldn't have came down the aisle. I do agree with that. I do feel like she knows him enough to know that that wasn't the best setting for him. And that was not the best way to get that type of news.
Yeah,
and I with that being said, and us knowing her her work and her background, it is kind of questionable.
Yeah, I think
as to why she went ahead and walked down. I can't. I've been here with you, KB, the whole time until this moment. I did not understand that.
Yeah, and I feel like she just did, like, in that situation, it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna complete it, because the truth is there's a life after this show. And sometimes, and I don't know this woman, but I can see people setting themselves up for a life after this show, even if it comes at the
we see it all the time with reality shows. Like,
and that's what I think happened here. She knew. I mean, I said from after a while, I was like, I just don't see it. I never seen that. There was like a glimmer where I was like, maybe. But even then, I was like, nah.
Yeah, there were like these little pockets, right? Where, because you would be like, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. Like, I remember you would see some, and this was like, but again, I think it was more friendship.
Honestly, everybody obviously there was no marriages this season.
None.
And there was pockets with all these couples. It's not lost on me, though, that like after one of the most boring and just mundane and just useless seasons of this show, and that was my first season seeing it, that you have a season that is packed with stuff and no marriages. It seems like a capitulating drama overall. So I don't put anything past production, as you guys know.
But yeah, with that being said, that is the finale, and
we will be back for the reunion. So, yeah.
So I am going to be seated with popcorn and a glass of something.
Yeah. Hopefully, everybody pulls up in better spaces. Hopefully, Meka pulls up with her love child. Hopefully, Anton pulls up with somebody. Hopefully, whatever her name ain't Allie, it's like Elise and whatever. Hopefully, she put up.
I was like, wait, who?
She has a longer name like that. And no disrespect, it's like Elise and Mia or something like that. Yeah, let me leave that alone. But hey, look forward.
I feel like Edmund is going to cut up on this reunion.
Possibly.
Yeah, I feel like
and we'll be there for it.
We will be. So that's it.
That's Love is Blind Season 9, y'all. We are. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. We have a lot of stuff that we're doing, stuff coming forward. And talk to y'all soon. But you're supposed to say something.
Oh. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, hit the notification bell.
Somebody's slipping.